Hey everyone, my name is Nathan Payne. Welcome back to another episode of Blu Ocean Crypto. So we've got quite a bit of updates to cover for you guys with Mavia. There's been a lot of action on their Twitter, some really interesting things going on, some key milestones, and I'd say the big one is the announcement of their Layer 2 coming up here at the end of the month. So I want to talk quite a bit about that, give you guys my insight, opinions on some that I think would be good, some that might not be so good, but at the end of the day, I'm going to be happy to use whatever Mavia picks, but I still want to give you guys that insight. So just want to say big thanks to everyone who subscribed to the channel. Seeing the growth lately has been really inspiring. I'm really enjoying creating this content for all you guys, and it just means a lot to us. So let's jump right in. So right off the bat, this is massive, right? We've got 2 million plus downloads. Top regions are Philippines, United States, Vietnam, Brazil, Nigeria, France, and Indonesia. I mean, Mavia is really redefining mass adoption when it comes to Web3. This is incredible to see. And a lot of you guys who've been following Mavia or me for a while might remember that their initial target was actually 1.5 million people within the first month. They have blown that out of the water. So this is just amazing to see, and I'm really excited to see where it all goes. Right now we've got a ton of listings. So Poloniex, new listing, Mavia. Deposits are around the 20th. This is pretty sweet to see. They're just kind of sweeping across the board. I'll just go through this kind of fast. We got another spot listing on BingX, Mavia in USDT. Also, they were doing $100 in Mavia giveaway for 5 big BingX fan. And this tweet, also BingX. So this is a futures listing notice, which is paired with USDT. We've also got Crypto.com now talking about derivative exchange with Ronin and Mavia perpetual contracts. That's pretty sweet. More action on Crypto.com, especially good for people in Canada. Binance Futures. Now this is pretty exciting. Futures will launch the USDM Mavia perpetual contract at February 21st, and then there's information here. Generally when you see a futures contract with Binance, it's kind of interesting to see what happens after that. That's all I'll say. We got IntentX, new perpetual listing. This is great. You can trade up to 25x leverage. We've also got BitTrue launching USDT-based perpetual future pairs with Mavia. This is awesome. I find they're also doing Pixel. We've got KuCoin futures as well for perpetual contract. I mean, it's just like rapid fire, guys. We're getting all these new listings. There's spot listings. There's future contracts. It's awesome to see kind of things expand as quickly as they are. Now, I definitely expect us to see more of this, but they're really ramping things up. I mean, they just launched the token on the 6th, and we're only a few weeks in right now. This is a pretty exciting time, in my opinion, for lots of different reasons, not just the success of the game, the success of the token, all the extra exposure. It's just going to be more accessible to everybody. And getting these perpetual contracts and futures and all kinds of stuff is just the next level, right? But the thing I want to spend the most time talking to you guys about. So they just announced that they will be announcing their Layer 2 chain choice on Tuesday, February 27th at 15 UTC. And they talk about how the Layer 2 will power the entire in-game economy and power millions of mobile players inside Mavia. Now, they had posted this a while ago where they were saying, hey, we're looking for, and here's kind of the options. Now, I went through all of these pretty extensively, and just running a game guild myself, being in the industry for over 4 years, I definitely have some strong opinions when it comes to some of these networks. There's pros and cons with all of them. What I will preface with at the beginning is this is just my opinion, guys. Take it with a grain of salt. Starting with Binance Smart Chain, I don't think this is a good move. There really hasn't been a successful Binance Smart Chain play to earn project. It's kind of well known in the industry. It just doesn't go too well. Doesn't mean their Layer 2 technology is bad. I just think there's some reputation issues kind of with that chain. Ronin, we've used Ronin extensively for a very long time as a game guild. I'd say this one's probably got the most hype right now. That's definitely a big pro. If I were to be critical about it, I don't like the failed transactions. I don't like having to send tokens 2 or 3 times to get it to go through. I don't like the failed listing. Sometimes you also have to list something 2 or 3 times for it to go up. I'm worried how that's going to impact the Ruby marketplace game. Simply can't list or can't buy because they have to do it 2 or 3 times. But it is getting the most hype right now. Base, this one is probably my personal favorite. There's another one, but Base really doesn't have kind of a flagship game behind it right now, and it is Coinbase that's backing it or behind it. Coinbase has a ton of resources and obviously a lot of pull in the industry, especially with them fighting back and appealing the SEC, kind of standing up for crypto, and let's be frank, Mavia might break any one of these that they go on. I feel like Coinbase, has a lot of resources and backing. They could be well prepared for it, and Mavia could really kind of make its mark as the flagship game. But that's also kind of a negative. There really isn't any other flagship games on there. They haven't built a ton of reputation yet. Okay, so AVAX. I personally like AVAX. I think the whole gaming narrative that's been going on there is pretty sweet. We know about Beam being on there, but it's kind of splitting a little bit because some people think it's a good thing, some people it's bad. Some people don't like how Merit Circle migrated to Beam. There's a lot of people in crypto who want to just buy and hold. And really, if you didn't migrate or haven't migrated your tokens over, you're essentially getting, not fun times. And there's the argument that they just wanted a fresh ticker so they can kind of have the last bear market underneath them. That's the con. The pro is also that it's Beam, right? Merit Circle has done amazing things in this space. They're partnered with Mavia. They're really a giant when it comes to the play to earn and Web3 industry. And their support and backing for a lot of games have really made a huge difference. So, it kind of depends on which side of the fence you want to sit on there. Arbitrum, I personally like this one too. This is probably my second favorite. It's really kind of tied between Base and Arbitrum for me. Those are my ones that I would like to see the most. Arbitrum was actually their initial pick. So years ago, for people in Mavia, you could actually do !layer 2, and it would say Arbitrum is going to be used as their layer 2 solution. So I think just because of that, and also they don't really have any baggage attached to them. There isn't really any bad PR, so to speak, kind of attached around Arbitrum. And I like that. So Immutable X. Now, this is definitely a gaming giant in the industry. A lot of people kind of expect or want Immutable X. I would say it's kind of between Ronin and Immutable for a lot of different reasons, and also just the hype and how many new games they have on their platform, the low gas fees, all that great stuff. If I had to critique Immutable X, I'd say the biggest thing in the space is how a lot of people think their numbers are fake or inflated. The amount that they have on their community and the daily active users don't really properly reflect in what's going on. So that's kind of the biggest con there. There's been a lot of games that went on Immutable X and really felt no difference, which is kind of interesting. But I also don't think the games should require the communities of the networks they go on to make their games successful. So there's a question mark left. And the only other one I could maybe think of that was a possibility is Optimism. And they had kind of a shaky start with their airdrop. So there's a little bit of bad PR there. That doesn't mean their technology is necessarily bad. But I'm really curious, what are you guys rooting for? Which one would you like to see Mavia use? And I mean, regardless, I'm going to use whatever they pick. That's for dang sure. But I can't wait to tell on the 27th. Okay, I hope you all enjoyed the video. Thanks so much. We'll see you all in the next one. Cheers.